So I want to apologize for the sound here because it's raining, but I figured this would be a perfect time to test the self-driving because I just came out of a friend's house and he lives in a place where cars park on both sides of the road, and when they do, there is just enough space for one car to go through. So I think this will be a perfect example of how well or not well the new FSD 10.2 beta actually reacts. So let's test it out, shall we? So I have noticed that in this beta version it is very, very picky. First of all, on how much you touch the steering wheel, but also how you pay attention to the road. So it's taking the turn here pretty well. So here's the spot that I'm talking about, and you can see it actually navigates. Usually there's more cars here, so this should be interesting because there's a car here right in front of the stop sign. So let's see how well it does maneuvering through this. Okay, it's taking its time here. It's a little slow. All right. Okay, a little jagged on the turns. Okay. I don't think it knows. Okay, so this was not good already. It went on the left lane to make a right turn. Holy crap. And it really accelerated fast. I guess it saw the car coming in behind me. So right now it seems to be a little bit jagged. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't realize it was going to take this way. All right. Oh, this should be interesting. Okay. All right, it did pretty good here. I have to admit, I'm a little bit leery. I was a little bit concerned here taking this turn, and it didn't take it incredibly smoothly, so you can definitely tell there is some concerns here. So let's see how okay, so it saw the car coming. This is good. It sees the lights, the brake lights. It's definitely a little jaggy. Oh yeah, and here it kind of tried to brake a little bit when it saw the car incoming on the other lane. And it's doing well for what it does, but it's definitely not super smooth by any means. And now I can definitely see it. So it kept like touching the brakes here when the cars are incoming. It kept touching the brakes a little bit left, and see here it just slammed on the brake for no reason. Ooh, okay. Okay, so I can understand why this is a beta version, because wow, and I understand why they didn't roll that out to everybody either. It is definitely far from doing a fantastic job. Okay, so let me see. I'm curious to see if it's gonna turn on the red light here. So here it has time. Okay, it went. All right. We're coming into a very, very busy intersection. Now it says unable to complete the maneuver. So I guess it doesn't let me do it. That's interesting. I'm not sure why it did that. There is a new snapshot button here, that allows you to send clips to Tesla about the beta version when it doesn't exactly work as it's supposed to. Now, this is interesting. Oh, so if you don't have, okay, so this is wild. If you don't have something selected here as far as the music is concerned, the map is very large when you have the music selected, but when you turn off the music, oh wow, it really makes the map a lot smaller. This is interesting. I'm wondering if that's part of the autopilot setting that mentions expand full self-driving visualization. Let me see if that's what it does. Ah, yes, that's what it does. So there's a button that says expand full self-driving visualization that makes the left side a lot larger when you don't have music or anything selected on the bottom. This should be interesting. Let's see how much better it handles cars turning. Oh, a little better. Okay. Before, when a car would turn like that, even if it went completely out of the road, it would sit there and still wait for a few seconds, which was really frustrating, not only to me, but to the people behind me, which were going, well, why are you not going? So the good thing at least is that seemed to have been fixed a lot better. Now, this is an interesting thing as well. Windshield wipers cannot be disabled when autopilot is active. Well, okay, I understand that. That makes sense, since it needs the cameras on the windshield in order to drive. But that's new. I had never seen that before. Boy, we're learning so many new things here today. Very, very interesting. Now, this merge, especially when you're on the right lane, was always kind of tricky. Kind of slammed you to the right, so I'm curious to see if they've made that. Okay. Alright, so it's better. It's still jerked a little bit, but it's definitely a lot better than it used to be. Before, when you would get to the end of a lane, it would really jerk pretty hard on the left side to get into the new lane or to merge properly. And this time it actually, I mean, it jerked a little bit, but not as much, and it even changed lanes, one more lane to the left automatically. So that it didn't used to do. There's another thing. Okay, so that's smoother as well. When you're in the lane, on the left lane, and your lane to the right of you ends, it had a tendency to have issues with that as well. It had a tendency to want to swerve right and then left, right, left a little bit, back and forth, because it didn't understand why your lane suddenly was so wide. And this time it did it a little bit, but not even 1/10 as bad as it used to. So that's definitely a massive improvement on the way that it used to handle. Here's another one that we were talking about when the lane ends on the right here. See, before it would go right, left, pretty haphazardly, and here it's actually very smooth. It stayed pretty close to the left hash marks, which is what it should be doing, instead of going left and right and left and right. So they've definitely improved a lot on that. That is very nice to see. Okay, so here we are, the dreaded toll booth. let's see which lane it picks. Because it doesn't know whether or not I've got an E-Pass or not. Where's it going? Interesting. It's taking me to the coin slot. Okay, I mean, you can still go through E-Pass with the coins, so I'm okay with that, unless there was a car in front of me that needed to use coins. Then I would be stuck behind it. So that's definitely something that should be added as an option. Now let's see how well it maneuvers through here. So this is tricky because there's construction here and there's cones, so I'm being very careful. Okay, it did that well. Considering there's a bunch of construction here, I'm actually surprised. It went through the yellow light. Alright, that's alright. I'm not upset at it. Better than slamming on the brakes. Okay, so I'm a little concerned here because we're all the way on the left side and it needs to make a right turn, and it has not. Told me it was going to switch lanes to make this right turn. It's gonna miss it. Really, dude? No. No, sorry, buddy. I'm gonna have to take over. It wanted to go through within 100 feet of the light, as you can see. It wanted to go through 2 lanes of traffic to turn right. I don't think so. No, 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 no. It should have adjusted like it does on the highway and go to the right lane and get ready, but here it absolutely did not. So this took way too long. Yeah, it definitely should not try to make a right turn and cross 2 lanes of traffic to turn right onto a side street. That was definitely a bug. You have to admit, it is impressive to see the amount of things that it sees now as opposed to what it did before. It definitely is a lot better, but I definitely understand why it's a beta. So let's see if it's going to go. Okay, good. It goes in turning lane, but it didn't put a turn signal on. Bad Tesla. Bad Tesla. Okay. Now which lane are you going to take? Now you're putting me in the turning lane there, buddy. No. Oh boy. That is not, oh boy, that is definitely not good. We're going to send that out. Put me in the turning lane and then put me back in my lane when the turning lane ran out. Yeah, there are definitely a few bugs when it comes to city streets here. Seeing if it makes any difference at night. Now I'm curious to see. Yeah, it actually took a right on red. Okay. Oh. I did not have my interesting. I did not have my lights to go to automatically bright. I'm wondering if this is another feature that is automatically turned on. Now let's see which way it takes me here through this easy pass. Oh, this time it takes me. I At least I did it well, but this time it took me through the actual pass lane, not the coin lane. So now I have to admit I am a bit curious as to whether the lights, auto high beam, so there's another thing. Auto high beam must be enabled while auto steer is active, so this is also not an option to turn off with the FSD. This is very interesting. So many things that are automatically enabled that we did not used to be enabled when you used FSD in the past. So, okay. I'm not sure if it really makes that much of a difference. But I understand the cameras are a lot more visual now. But still, I'm not sure that the high beams, I guess on dark roads, it would make a pretty big difference. This is kind of trippy what's happening here. I'm wondering if it's because my windshield is dirty. Oh, I definitely don't have to. Oh, okay, so the turns are still a little bit iffy. I'm gonna have to try to clean my windshield in a little bit better and see if it makes a difference on the ghosting images. It does seem very ghosty there on the sides. Let's see if that improves the way that the car behaves and what it sees on the radar screen. Nope, it's still ghosty. Okay, well, at least now we know. It's got nothing to do with it. All right, that's good. It was worth a try because I knew that my cameras were pretty dirty. So I'm gonna try something here. It's taking me the long way. I want to see if I try to turn left here, to try to bypass it, it's going to let me. It's confused. It is completely confused. So at least it got me into the left lane, but it wouldn't let me go straight, which is good, but it didn't take the turn either. So at least it's interesting to see that if I wanted to take a different way that the navigation is taking me, which by the way, I'm not sure why it was going to take me the other way, because that way would have taken me through some side streets and would have been actually slower. Trying to bypass it and to pick a different way confused it. It got in the lane. I told it to change, but then at least it realized there was a turning lane, and it didn't go straight, which would have been really bad. But holy crap, okay. But it didn't also take the turn, which is kind of frustrating. I wish I would have taken the turn. This does a lot better, at least when. But that was an interesting thing to try. Huh. turns well. Why is it stopping? There's no stop sign here. I definitely understand why only people that got 100 score got this beta, because it is definitely not ready for prime time. There are definitely a lot of quirks here that needs to be fixed. And there's a lot of things that we found out as well that which were very interesting, which I did not know about. Like, for example, that the windshield wipers have to be on auto mode and you cannot disengage that when you're driving under FSD. Or also that when you're driving at night, the auto high beam is automatically on. You cannot disengage that with FSD. The other thing that was very interesting in places that have toll roads is that it doesn't know which way to go, right? It doesn't know if it's going to go into the toll booth with the attendant or the coin dispenser or the one with the Easy Pass or Sun Pass or Unipass. It just chooses whatever lane you happen to be in. So that would be something nice for them to add, to be able to say, hey, I have an Easy Pass, so it automatically picks that. That's not there yet. But overall, it's still incredibly impressive. So is it ready for prime time? Not even close. I definitely understand why it's being rolled out very, very slowly, but it is super impressive. I have to admit that the way that it engages, especially when it turns into oncoming traffic and accelerates quickly enough and doesn't have people behind you wait forever, that is a very good feature. It does drive much better. It does handle merging lanes a lot better. It is very impressive. There's a lot to be done here. So this is the first review right now. If there is another update, obviously I will post the update and see how that goes. If you like this video, please press like and subscribe. That will help me a lot. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks a lot.